It's the final game of the season. Leeds United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 4. Welcome to your final Tottenham Hotspur Paxton Road TV reaction show. Good evening and welcome to Paxton Road TV for your reaction show of what's just happened today. Tottenham against Leeds United at Ellen Road. Leeds United are relegated and Tottenham avoid, or should I say miss out on Champions Conference League qualification. Joining me this evening to go through the analysis of the game is Sean Hotspur Hurley and Pav SPVP. Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we feeling?
Glad that's over. Yeah, it's I suppose I've got most of what I wanted. I did want to qualify for the Conference League because I'm of the old school that, like Billy Nicholson said, that Tottenham Hotspur without Europe is nothing. So, but the right teams have been relegated. Everton has survived, a much nicer football club than both Leeds and Leicester. And yes, we've had a performance. The only other black mark on the day was the fact that greedy Lucas Moura scores a goal when he should have passed to Kane to make him have a hat trick.
Oh, Sean, come on.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
Greedy bastard. Get rid of him.
Oh.
Bye, you Bolsonaro supporting wanker.
We'll talk about that as we move on. But Pav, good evening. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. I am glad that the season is over. Ended it on a win. Not that it does anything for us, but yeah. I'm just very glad that we are not in the Conference League because I did not want that at all. And I'm glad that Leicester got relegated, even though some people might disagree with me.
Right, so done the preview show on Friday and we did say that it was a massive game, potentially for both clubs, more so Leeds because obviously relegation was up for grabs for them and they've been relegated, whether it's unfortunate, fortunate, whichever way you want to put it, they've been relegated. But you know what? You can't just win your final game and then expect to stay up. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And they should have done better throughout the whole season. They didn't, but it is what it is. For Spurs, it was just a matter of formalities. Who's going to turn up? Obviously, Romero's not turned up for Spurs last couple of games. However, he's probably fully fit now to go to play for Argentina because he's been picked in the squad. Dyer wasn't available. Loris wasn't available. And I'm glad a couple of the youngsters got a game today. I wasn't expecting, well, to be fair, I don't know what kind of performance I was expecting today. But one thing for sure is no matter what, the problems, the issues, the conditions, Harry Kane turns up no matter what. And we'll talk about him towards the end as well. So, what we're here for. Before we move on, please, everybody in the comment section, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, it's the final Paxton Road reaction show. We'll be moving on to a new format of Paxton Prtv. We're not going anywhere. We're coming back stronger, better next year with all my lovely guests as well and hopefully more people. So, Tottenham Hotspur, Leeds United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 4. I was so excited that I missed the N out, but it's underneath there. Let's get straight into it. Actually, we'll talk about this at the end. Right. 4-1 to Spurs. 52% possession for Leeds. 48% possession for Spurs. 19 shots to Leeds. 11 shots to Spurs. They had 2 on target. We had 7 on target. 12 corners to our 3 corners. 7 fouls, 5 fouls to Spurs, no yellow cards. Sean, I'm assuming you saw the game. Was you expecting the performance that was delivered today by Spurs, or was it, like I mentioned in the preview show, it was just a matter of Leeds just coming at us and we was going to do them on the counter? I mean, we scored in the first 2 minutes of the first and first minute of the second half.
No, no one. You don't know what to expect with Tottenham. I mean, a number of. I mean, I've got enough egg on my face to make several omelets this season. You know what I mean? It's like you can hardly predict what Tottenham are going to do week on week. You know. Having said that, I mean, I've obviously not been really keeping an eye on Leeds, and they are rubbish.
They are.
They are rubbish. I mean, you know, I noticed people are concerned about the number of shots they had, but they couldn't hit a barn door from 10 feet. You know what I mean? Their backs were having all the shots. It wasn't their strikers having all of their shots. And, you know, that they Leeds are deservedly relegated, you know, and, as I say, statistics can be twisted in any way you like. Look at ours. We only had 7 on target, but we scored 4 of them. And that's what we were saying about Brighton last week, or Brentford last week. They had 4 shots and 3 goals. You know, that's what separates the wheat from the chaff. And you know, we are not the worst team in the Premier League, but we're by far from the best in the Premier League. And you know, a big summer awaits.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you on that one. Pav, thoughts?
So I did have a feeling that we'd win, but I thought that Leeds United would put up more of a fight. They didn't really put up a fight against us, if I'm being honest. Like, if you're fighting for relegation, you put up a fight, and they didn't. But yeah, I think us winning 4-1 just says it all, doesn't it? And with them, like, their possession-wise, quite near to what we had, and then they had more shots as well and more corners, so they did have like certain opportunities that they just didn't take ahead. But I mean, the score says it all, and now they're relegated. So
yeah, I mean, on the preview, I did say that this game was going to be all about how Leeds turn up, because Leeds had to turn up no matter what, and unfortunately, they just did not turn up today. Final home game of the season. You're at home, and as Big Sam said, if there's any team that you want to play in the final home game to avoid relegation and you want a bit of a chance, it was Spurs. But, and I think the commentator said it as well, Leeds just did not turn up. I don't think they had a clue. They didn't know what to do. The fact that we got that goal really early in the first 2 minutes sort of broke their hearts even more. But then again, still, they should have showed a hell of a lot more heart and spirit, which I didn't, because if they would have come at us, they probably would have, because there was a couple of times when Sanchez just looked dodgy, and then there was that one incident where I think the ball was played in, Forster didn't even come out. Sanchez just, I don't know what he's done, he's hacked it, he's gone over, and then he's just shrugged his shoulders. That was it. And I'm like, that is the attitude of, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? So I think if they would have come at us a bit more, I think the goals were there. And I think Jim and Gina said the same thing as well, that he's quite shocked that Leeds didn't come at Spurs, because you don't know what you're going to get with Spurs. But saying that, though, I think we've gone away. Mason's picked the team to do a job, and I think they've just done the job that they had to do. Harry Kane does what he does. I still think there was a couple of performances that could have been better. In terms of the lineups, Pav, when you saw the lineup, I mean, I obviously we knew Romero weren't going to be available, Dyer weren't going to be available, but then when he picked this team, Forster, Sanchez, Langley, we knew that was going to happen. Emerson Royal, we obviously, that was a given. Ben Davies at left back. I don't know if Perisic, was he injured, Sean Pav? Do you know anything about it? Because he wasn't even in the squad.
No. I mean, it's interesting. Well, no, let Pav answer the question.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard anything about him being injured.
No.
So, and he hasn't been playing for the last few games, has he? So no. I'm not too sure what's going on there.
We'll talk about that. Midfield was Poro, Basuma, Skip, Kulusevski, and then Son and Kane. So looking at that lineup, Pav, when you saw it, was you like sort of expected that?
Roughly. I mean, I didn't know that Longley would be playing, and then obviously Kulu, because the last few games Richie's been starting over him, hasn't he? But other than that, like, you know, the Basuma, Skip as well, Sanchez, because Dyer's out, isn't he? And then Royale as well, and Porro. But yeah, I'd say that looking at this lineup, it was somewhat expected. Yeah.
Sean? Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe Dan Juma would get a game rather than Porro, but you know, you can't deny Mason picked the right team. You know, he did pick the right team, and he's been getting a lot of shade today just because of his comments on Levy, unnecessarily in my viewpoint. You know, but today he's picked the right team to win the game. And, you know, that's all you want from your coach, is to pick the right team to win a game. Take all the emotion out of it. You know, it's difficult to go to a team that are fighting for their lives on their home ground with their crowd, you know, and, you know, basically quieten them down. I mean, we did it perfectly. And I thought a few players who've been getting shade of late, including Oliver Skip, did quite well today. And, you know, they should be given their flowers for that. You know, scoring in 90 seconds was always good.
Yeah.
It was always good, you know, and, you know, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, even like you said, Sean, I totally agree with you. He's got to pick the team that's going to go out there to win the game, right? People might not
and what does the score say at the end? 4-1.
4-1, exactly.
And then, you know, then people in the comments going on about Mason's mates.
Yeah.
Piss off. I really don't. I really no time for people like that.
He's got to pick the team, right? That
he's got an injury list the length of 2 arms as well.
Yeah, and he wants, obviously, he doesn't want to go down without a fight. He's got a reputation as a manager or a coach that he wants to go elsewhere. So he's going to put out the best team that he thinks on paper can go out there and win the game. And I think he got that 100% correct today. And what also I was really happy with was the fact that Craig and Abbott, and then 21 and then under 18, both got to make their debuts. All right, they only came on for the last, Craig came on a bit earlier than Abbott did. But the fact that he brought them on, he brought Sarr on as well. And they done the job. They looked suspect at the back at times, but they done their job. Emerson Royal had a good game. I think Porro done well. Kane, obviously, 30 goals in the whole freaking season, right? And he still doesn't get as much credit as he should. Haaland only scored 6 more goals in the Prem than Harry Kane did this season. Haaland scored 36 goals. Harry Kane has scored 30 goals. And you're telling me, right, in a shit team, in a shit season, Kane has scored 30 goals, 6 less than a title-winning Haaland. And they're all raving about Haaland, robot. You know what? Give this man some credit, yeah, because I'm sure he would have scored 36 goals for Man City in the team that they've got. So, you know, but would Haaland have done this at Tottenham in this team? Hell no. So you've got to give Kane credit, you know. The first goal was good. Second one as well, buried it. He could have had a hat-trick. Should have had a hat-trick. But, you know what? At the end of the day, players put on a performance. They didn't go down without a fight. All right, it was Leeds, but at the end of the day, I always say it's going to be a tough game. But for me, 4-1, it's a comprehensive win and a good result. And I think now, yeah, let's see what happens in the summer. What did you make? And I'll put it to both of you. So looking at the team that started today, obviously Mora's gone. And I think what a way to sign off. What a goal. And you know what? I know you're not happy with it, Sean, but Pav as well. What made me really happy was the reaction of the players on the bench. Did you see them all when he scored?
Yeah, they're happy that they're happy he's going.
Oh, come on, Sean.
Oh, Sean.
No, I'm not having it. The guy has done nothing since Amsterdam. Nothing.
I agree.
I know, yeah.
I agree. But you know what? What he done in that last
and
game
people want to talk to me about sentimentality.
is, yeah, but what he done, all right, he should have done it more, and he should have got more game time. He was injured, but he should have got. But you've got to give man credit. That was a good finish. If anybody else would have done that, you know what, you'd be saying yeah. But to do that, and he came on for 5 minutes and he scores a goal like that. He's gone now. He's gone. So yeah, okay, that's fine. Kulusevski, we don't know. I think he had an average game again. We don't know what's going on with him.
Well, I thought he did some good stuff in the first half. One or two really good turns, which he was doing last season. Yeah.
Still not back to his best, so I don't know.
Yeah, but then Son's not been at his best all season. And how many games has he played?
Every game.
Yeah.
Every game. And even today, there was a couple of instances where on the counter, he should have gone for. Son last season would have gone and buried that. Yeah. But for some reason, it was somebody pressed the pause button and then rewound it or fast forwarded it, and he's back.
It was like playing Pro Evolution Soccer back in the day.
It was.
Glitch.
It was. Who stood up for you today, Pav?
Kane. Kane was the main man, I think, out of the game. I'm glad that he got those 2 goals, and obviously got the way that he got the goals as well. It was great. Put in a great performance. I think definitely he was my main man out of the match. Who else would I say? I mean, Porro as well. I'd say that he stood out to me as well. Obviously, he assisted Kane on, I think it was the first goal. Yeah, so I think Kane and Porro would be my 2 players.
Sean?
Yeah, definitely Kane and Porro, and I thought Skip had quite a good game too.
Yeah, but I think what we've got, what we can't take out the equation, we can't obviously mull over it and forget about it. It's the fact that it wasn't a vintage performance. It was a performance delivered because Leeds were that bad. And you said it, Sean, Leeds were so poor, right? And we sort of got to work around them. And when it mattered, we buried it. It wasn't vintage. It wasn't, Spurs are back performance. It was last game of the season. Leeds had more to play for than Spurs. And unfortunately, Leeds just didn't deliver and we just took advantage. So I'm not saying that, everything's all good and glory now at Spurs and we're back. No. I'm going to talk about the table as well. Let me just go through a few of the comments here before we move on. Good afternoon, good evening to Dino Dinosaur. We always get a performance when it does matter.
When it does not matter.
When it does not matter. When it does not matter. But Leeds didn't put a performance in, so you know what? Our very own David Clark from Leicester, who got relegated today. I don't know, mixed feelings for David, I'm assuming. Trust me, the performance wasn't great. Leeds 19 shots at our goal, and if any of their players could head the ball, we would have lost this game. And then more I see of Richarlison, the more I despair. Do you know what? I agree with you. There was a couple of chances they had. Like I said to you, if on their day Leeds were on fire, they probably would have scored or should have scored a few more goals.
Yeah,
I agree. Where are we? What else have we got? Levy is waiting to give Lucas a new contract now. No, Lucas is gone. He's done. That's it. It's not going to happen. Leicester and Leeds need a quality forward. Leeds need more than a quality forward, I think. Leicester kept hold of players that wanted to move on for too long, the same as we have been doing. Okay.
No, that's a really valid point, David. Yeah.
It's true. I mean, Vardy, Tielemans, they should have got rid of last season when they had offers in. Maddison, they should have got rid of when they had offers in. I agree with, it's true. But let's see what happens now, because they're not going to get the top dollar that they probably wanted for Maddison, Barnes, Tielemans. I think Tielemans is on a free, right?
Yeah, Tielemans is on a free. And it looks like he's going to go to Arsenal.
Yeah. So, Dinosaur, I think Levy done his PSG mate a favour buying Lucas. He was limited skills-wise and has shown zero improvement in his play. Mr. K, 4-1 to Spurs. Yes. One last song said, you know what? Yeah, I will do later on. Maybe, maybe not. When Levy's coaches list has run out, ex-Leicester coach is coming, so I will be watching Colville Town, so who are in the Southern League Central Division next season. The manager go around is going to be a topic of conversation that we will be having later on. I don't want to get involved in this one at the moment because we haven't got a clue who's on that list. I'm hearing different things every day. I don't know if you two want to have a little comment on that or not. Sean?
No, the only decision that's been made on management is that it's not Mauricio Pochettino because he's signed for Chelsea.
That's it.
Bye.
Yeah, Pav?
I have nothing to say. It's just don't believe what the media says. We had our hopes up for Arne Slot and look what's happened. So that is why, guys, do not believe what the media says. Until it is officially confirmed by Spurs, don't believe it.
Listen, like I said, and I said it on the preview show, until the manager is in the stadium and he's doing that, is when we believe that we've got the new manager in. David Clark, don't mention Mason to me. If the guy is in the coaching staff next season, then we know this club is going nowhere. Not necessarily. Even if he deserves to be in the coaching staff, well, there's nothing wrong with him being in the coaching staff. He may not be the manager, but let him get his experience. I don't think he's going to be doing anything wrong being in the coaching staff. Everyone has coaching staff, so let him be part of that. It obviously is down to the manager and the DOF, whoever comes in.
Maybe Leeds could make him an offer tonight.
You never know. Mason ain't going to pick players with gumption. Mason mates all over again. Mr. K, he picked the team that was available to him. There wasn't anyone particularly, he didn't pick his mates because he had what he had. And if he's only got a squad of players that's fit, he can only pick the best. And I think he done. And they won 4-1. So, you can't complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? There are some people in our fan base who like nothing but throwing shade at Tottenham. And I wonder, why are you following Tottenham Hotspur if everything to do with Tottenham Hotspur is shit? And this is the problem, that what has become of this mad season is that our fans have collectively lost their heads. They've collectively lost their heads. Yes, we need new ownership. But you don't throw shade at the players. You support the players. That's what brought you to following the team, is it not? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. People too keen to have a go at people who are trying their best at a playing level. Hamstrung they are by the ownership, but I'm glad I'm seeing the back of this. I can probably shut down my Twitter account for the summer, and I'll come back in August.
But Sean, I think on the flip side to that as well, and we've all done it throughout the season. We have slagged players off. You've slagged Son off. I've slagged Son off. Emerson, what we did. Sanchez, we did. There's certain players that should not be playing for Spurs. Certain players are just not good enough, and certain players' performances this season have just not been good enough. So if they're not playing well, then they are.
Yeah, but it goes beyond the players.
Of course it
goes beyond the players. It goes. Conte consistently gets off because he said some true things in his farewell speech. Do you know what he said 2 weeks before? He accused all you fans, Levy in or Levy out, of being shit. But do you remember that? No, you don't remember that.
Yeah.
So, you just wind your necks in. Wind your necks in. Let things take their place. Tottenham Hotspur will be here when I'm gone. I'm 62, and I'm closer to my grave than most of you here. And,
Mr. K, if Mason had his job properly, we wouldn't need to win with Aston having to lose. Sod Mason. Pav, do you agree with that? I don't agree with that. I think Mason done what he could with what he's got. It wasn't down to him that he got to the final game of the season where Aston Villa had to lose for us to. No, the
Stellini decision.
Exactly.
I disagree with Mr. K. I mean, I rate Mason, okay, and what he's done in the short amount of time that he took over from Stellini he's actually, if you think about it, he's not done bad. Like, I agree with a lot of the decisions he's made, and him having the guts to change, like, the players, what sort of players he's bringing on and stuff like that. If we compare it to what Stellini done, and then when Mason took over, what he's done, Mason's like, you know, he's had the guts to kind of change it up and change
He's
the
light
formation
years
and
ahead of
stuff. It's
Stellini.
like, yeah, it's like he's willing. Mason is willing to try and do anything possible for the team, and I don't fault him at all for that. Like you said, Sid, as well, it goes beyond sometimes, and I just blame the ownership for everything anyway. But I don't blame Mason. I think he's tried his best with the amount of time that he's, you know, taken over.
Yeah, I mean, look at Lampard, right? He's gone. He almost got Everton relegated, and he took Sean Dyche to pull him right back out in the final game of the season. He went to Derby. Then Chelsea, for some reason, decided to bring him back, and he won one game. Yeah, their worst ever tally of points, worst ever goal scored. Yet people are saying, you know what? You don't hear Chelsea fans mourning that he's not good enough as a coach. He's not this, that, the other. But Mason's been chopped in at the deep end, and he's done a job. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because him up there, right? So as Mr. K wanted, don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, don't blame it on the good times, blame it on Levy. Mr. K saying here, Sean has the actual point. Where was Lucas's performance all season and last? I agree.
And before.
Yeah. Basuma just coming back into form. Eddie Ryan, good evening. Mr. K, okay, you guys have a point. I'm just pissed about his statements about Levy and the fines he actually played in. I think, you know what, he's just saying that, right, because he doesn't want to get on the bad side of Levy. And he's just keeping him sweet, isn't he? He's just keeping him sweet. So, I mean, at the end of the day, right? There's
Factually, he's right. Levy has spent money, wasted money on Ndombele, the Celso, Sessegnon, that whole transfer window post the European Cup final.
Yeah,
all that money spunked away on players who were injured, are not bothered, and are not suitable. Doesn't, you know? So he's been let down.
Agree.
You could say
Agree.
You know, but in the end, it's us that gets let down because we're the ones that are always there.
So 4-1, last game of the season. Excuse me. Moving forward now. Question I want to ask you both. I'll ask you, Pav, first. They say the table never lies. And as the table stands here, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have finished 8th on 60 points, 1 point behind Aston Villa and 2 behind Brighton and Hove Albion. Therefore, we've missed out on Europe completely. It's a double barrel question. Are you happy we're not in Europe? And was you expecting us to at least get the Conference League today?
I am happy that we're out of Europe.
Yeah.
Because we don't deserve it. And also, I hate the Conference League. If we're not playing in the Europa and we're not playing the Champions League, I don't want it. And I can't remember. What was the second one? You said where we are. Right. Yeah, I mean, I did expect, I said 8th or 9th. I did expect us to be here. And as I said it before, we would have been even further down had it not been that, you know, certain teams were losing throughout the season with our performances. We're lucky to be 8th, and also with Kane as well, because without him, we'd be bloody battling relegation, right? So yes, I did expect us to be 8th. Very, very glad we're not in the Conference League. Kind of sticks 2 fingers up at Levy saying, haha, we're not in Europe. But yeah, I think we deserve 110% to be 8th.
Sean?
I'll come back to you. I'll come back on that point in a minute, Pav. But no, I'm disappointed that we're not in Europe, but we are exactly where we deserve to be. We look at the teams above us; all have got better coaching. I mean, Aston Villa were fourth from bottom when Emery took over. Fourth from bottom, and that man, without a transfer window, without buying, no additions, he coached those underperforming players more than our super coaches like Conte, the Turin troll, and Mourinho. It's all about me. To a European place, and good luck to them. Good luck to Villa in that competition. I'm old school, right? There's a famous quote by Billy Nicholson which says that if Tottenham are not in Europe, they're nothing. Well, we're nothing. Yeah. We're nothing, and we've got what we deserve, 8th.
And do you know what? Right, on the preview show, I said, right, and I'm in agreement with you, Sean. If we at least finish in the Conference League, look at what West Ham have done. They finished way below, right, par, but they're in the final of the Europa Conference League. If they win that, no one's going to give a shit about where they finished in the Prem. All they're going to be doing they won.
When 1981, we finished 11th when we won the cup. The Ricky Villa final. Yeah.
So for West Ham, that is massive. The fact that you've won a cup, regardless of what cup competition it is, it's a cup that they're going to end up winning. So no one's going to look at that. Had we qualified, we could have given a good run in that cup. We probably would have been one of the favourites. But then again, last season when we blew it. But to be in Europe is a massive thing. And I'd rather we were in the Conference League because at least it's some kind of Europe. You win that, you're in the Europa League next season. So you don't even have to worry in a way to re-qualify. You win it, you're in Europa straight away. So for me, that. Secondly, if you look at the top 8 now, right? City scored 94. Arsenal scored 88. Liverpool 75, 72. Then Spurs on 50. Man United only scored 58 goals. Newcastle United only scored 68 goals. But look at how many goals we've freaking conceded. 63 goals in a season for Spurs is absolutely ridiculous. We've lost 14 games, conceded 63. And I think David has put something on here. Here we go. Relegation teams only lost 4 more games than us. So minus Kane, we would be in deep shit. And my boy said that the other day as well. He said, Dad, if we take away Harry Kane's goals, we would have been in deep, deep shit, as Eddie Murphy said in 48 Hours. Deep, deep shit, So it is not good. And the table never lies. And like you said, I still think we should not have finished 8th. I think we should have been a hell of a lot lower than 8th.
I thought it was an interesting quote I read over the weekend. I can't remember when it was, but it was a quote from a Brentford player.
Yeah.
And their management are saying that Tottenham will be relegated next year.
Really?
And yeah, their management are saying Tottenham will be a potential relegation team. So there's, it's obviously the talk is going around the small world of professional football that we're vulnerable. And as you say, without Harry Kane, if we was to sell Harry Kane, then, we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable.
Yeah, I agree. Pav, you agree on that one as well?
Yeah, I agree. I've said this before. Kane is like the main man for us. If we take him out of the equation, we're stuffed. Because look how much he has done for us this season. Because take away his goals that he's got for us, we'd be way lower.
Yeah.
And that just says it all, doesn't it? And if he goes, we're not going to find a man that matches his standard, and we're just going to be effed.
Yeah, I agree. Right, guys and ladies, Tottenham Hotspur, final game of the season. We win 4-1. Harry Kane scores 2 goals. Final thoughts before we say au revoir. Starting with you, Pav.
Well, I'm glad that the season's over, but now bring on the next manager and the summer transfer window. It all starts with obviously, getting the director of football and then bringing the manager and then see what kind of manager we have, which will kind of give us fans an idea of how next season is going to plan out. I mean, we need to do business in the summer, but not just spending money just for the sake of it. We need to be spending it on players that we need and obviously getting rid of the dead wood. And the manager that I want next needs to have a vision at the club and needs to have a project at the club and wants to be there rather than, just being there for the sake of it. Like, oh, it's just another job. Whoever it is, they need to see a project with us and be able to want to be there and be able to take control. And that will just determine what our season is. I want a better season than this season. This season should have been voided.
Sure.
And I want us to, start winning and start putting in more effort rather than looking like the lost team that we have this season.
Sean, final thoughts?
Yeah, I want to see a better Tottenham Hotspur on and off the field next season. I want to be able to say I've enjoyed watching them, which I haven't, but enjoyed. Not one game this season have I enjoyed. I just can't remember. It's been torture and torture, and that goes back to our original coach come August last year. So it's not. But my problem is that a better Tottenham Hotspur would be a Tottenham Hotspur owned by someone else than our current owners, and that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah. Do you know what? My final thoughts. I want justification on whether to renew my season ticket if I do it next season. Because like you, Sean, it's been an absolute mare this season. I've not enjoyed going to that ground at all. And I don't want to be in that same boat next season. I want to know what's happening at that club from the top all the way down to the bottom. I'm not going to just turn up next season and expect the same as this season, because I'll just say, you know what, forget it. That's why I need to know about my season ticket, because I'm not going to waste money. As much as Daniel Levy is just apparently is again announced the top paid director in the Prem. How the hell has he been the top paid director in this Premier League when he's absolutely destroyed the club and we are where we are? Yeah, you got other directors of clubs and whatever outperforming Daniel Levy by a mile and a half on less. I mean, apparently the next second top director was 400 grand less or 600 grand less what Daniel Levy had. So it's a massive summer for me. Absolute massive summer at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, from the club ownership to the directors to the players to everything, from managers, coaches, the whole lot. So I hope it gets done. I hope they do it right, because I tell you what, I'm not sitting in next season for another roller coaster of the season. I'm just going to jump in.
The problem is the deadline for season ticket renewal is the 1st of June at 5 p.m. And here we are, the 28th of May. There's no way they're going to have a head coach in place by Thursday.
I know, and that's the problem. David Clark, this is why 100% Levy will not sell Kane in the summer, because Levy is all about self-preservation. It's only 51 days until our first all-season pre-season game in Perth, Australia, which is less time than with Conte. You know what? If he doesn't sell Kane, then Kane goes for us free in next summer. He's going to be he will want top dollar, and now apparently they're touting him abroad, because he don't want him to go in the Prem. He wants him to go abroad, so they're already touting him. So let's see what happens. I mean, the Kane's thing, we can have a conversation on talking points or something whenever. All that's left for me to say is thank you very much, Sean. Thank you very much, Pav, for joining me the whole season in the preview shows, the reaction shows, talking points, and Judge Jodi and everything. Thank you to everyone in the comment section for staying with us, for staying with Paxton Road TV. We can't thank you enough. Win, lose or draw, you guys have been there. You guys are the reasons that we've been putting out the shows. Thank you very much. And please bear with us. Like I said, there's a new format next season. I hope everybody forgets about this, has a wonderful summer. And like Spurs and like ourselves, we all come back excited and happy for more. Did I just say that? Because that's probably not going to happen.
I'll have whatever he's on.
Yeah, exactly. But no, do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure this season hosting everything on Paxton Road TV. It's been a pleasure working with Sean, having Pav on as well for all your lovely positive vibes, Pav. Sam wasn't able to make it today, but he'll be available for talking points. All that's left of me to say is thank you very much. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Great summer. We shall see you in August.